Hi, I'm Ravi Handa, and on this channel, we talk about financial independence, early retirement, and everything else related to personal finance. I'm recording this video at Inch Beach in Ireland, and what I primarily wanted to talk to you about is the idea of slow travel. Now, I grew up in a middle class Indian household, and while growing up, both my parents were government servants, so they didn't really have, even if they could afford to travel a lot more, they didn't really have that much time. The fondest memories that I have with respect to travel while growing up was going to Vaishno Devi and to Varanasi and the religious tourism of sorts. I think I got my passport when I turned 30. So travel essentially came a little late in my life. And even when it did come, it was mostly driven by what my wife wanted. I was married by then. So I didn't really see a point in traveling that much, to be honest. It felt like a waste of money, and it felt like a lot of effort as well. That, okay, why am I putting in so much effort and money into it? And what am I actually getting out of it? Slowly, steadily, I realized the actual fun of it, the importance of it, and I believe I have grown as an individual to appreciate the beauty of travel a little bit more. And in that pursuit, I decided to do something with respect to travel which I hadn't done before, which is the idea of slow travel. Typically, used to go to places, maybe, so if I'm visiting a new country, for example, whether it's Thailand or Malaysia or Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, places near India, the ones that I've been to, it used to be like, oh, a quick 4 day trip or a quick 5 day trip. And in those 4 and 5 days, the goal was to hit as many places as possible, do as many tourist spots as possible. And I realized it was driven by a lot of FOMO. Essentially, what I saw people doing, and I saw people on the Bali swing or trying the civet cat poop coffee and stuff like that. It comes at a cost. And my key idea or key intention always was to extract the maximum value out of it. That if I'm spending 2 lakh rupees on a trip, it is a huge amount. Then how do I get the maximum value of that 2 lakh rupees? And what I realized was that it essentially came from the idea of how, what will I tell my friends? Oh, I did this also, and I did this, that also. It wasn't really driven by the idea of things what I actually enjoy doing. For example, I really like drinking, sitting on a beach and drinking beer. But if I spend the entire day doing that, it felt wrong. I felt guilty. However, over a period of time, I realized that sitting on a beach and drinking beer, if that is something that you like, that is the best use of your time. That is the best use of your money. And to do that, what you need to do is slow travel. What I mean by slow travel is, do not try to pack too many things in too few days. We tend to do that because international travel is expensive, and we try to cram up as much stuff as possible. However, what I would rather suggest you do, and this is something that I'm doing this time on my own. So I'm spending 3 weeks in Ireland. I'm traveling solo. This is another thing. I've never traveled solo in my life. Even in my college years, you know, I never even went to the places which were near my college alone. I was a little bit scared something would happen. I don't know if I will enjoy it or not. But I realize that I do enjoy this aspect. So, what I'm suggesting essentially to do is, perhaps you can compromise on some of the expenses, that instead of living in expensive hotels, maybe you can live in a slightly cheaper Airbnb. And instead of spending, let's say, 5 days or 7 days in a particular country, you can perhaps extend that to 10, 12. Adding those extra days takes away a lot of pressure. At least it takes away a lot of pressure on me of doing various things and visiting various locations. It also gives you the option of visiting a particular location twice if you really liked it. For example, in this 3 week trip to Ireland, I spent 5 days in a place called Doolin, which is very close to Cliffs of Moher. I really enjoyed Cliffs of Moher, and what I did was I actually visited Cliffs of Moher thrice. A couple of times I got very good weather, and one time it was all rained out and I couldn't see much. But I could do that because I was spending 5 days in a small village called Doolin. And because I was spending so much time in a small village, that also cuts down the costs a lot. So, longer trips are really helpful, slower trips are really helpful. Do not make it a point to visit location X, Y, Z and touch each and every point and click pictures just for the purpose of Instagram to show people that I did this, I did that. But perhaps try and figure out what is it that you enjoy, and that would do the trick. And for me, what I am realizing is that a solo travel is not that bad. I was a little scared about traveling solo, so I really enjoy that part. I really enjoy the fact that I'm spending 3 weeks in a beautiful country like Ireland. I also really enjoy the fact that I'm not really visiting a large number of cities in these 3 weeks in Ireland. I'm spending uh, in Doolin, which is a very small town, then 5 days in a place called Dingle, another 5 days, 6 days in a place called Killarney, and another 4 days in a place in Dublin, the capital. So I'm ending the trip in a big city, and being in smaller cities cuts down the cost. And once you are in smaller cities, all of these beautiful locations are really close to you. So right now I'm at Inch Beach, for example, which is a 20-minute drive from Dingle, where I am staying. And I hope you will also try it at some point of time, that instead of clubbing a lot of locations, and the tendency being that, oh, you are anyways going that far, so let's visit multiple cities in Ireland and UK, and also go to London because it's on the same visa. So let's do London as well, let's do Belfast in Northern Ireland as well, and maybe just spend 2 days or one night in every city or village. Maybe that is what works for you, maybe it doesn't, but I'll really suggest that all of you give slow travel a go. And I'll also like to point out that this is not really a function of money, as I know bunch of my friends who have a lot more money than I have, who earn a lot more, and who actually spend a lot more than I do on vacations, but they try to cram up so much stuff into it. It doesn't work because they do have the money, but they do not have the time. And financial independence does provide you with that extra time on your hand. It gives you control over your time, which allows you to travel slowly. And think about it, what exactly are you trading that time for? You're trading that time for few extra bucks in the bank, which you believe is yours, but probably not. Probably the money that you have in the bank, a lot of that is going to be used by your future generations or someone else. The only money that is truly yours is going to be the money that you spend on yourself. I hope you take that away from this video. If you like this, please let me know via the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel, and do check out the website handauncle.com and our app as well. That's something that I have been working on these days. Thank you.